Hi, I'm Baby Robot and welcome to my brand new channel. Who am I? I'm 29 years old and was diagnosed with autism just 4 months ago. I'll make a video about my journey towards that diagnosis, and because it needs its own video. It was a long process and obviously it was 29 years in the making, and I'll also talk about the effect that it's had on me. I'm now recovering from autistic burnout because I was trying to keep up with a pace of life that just didn't really suit me. It was, I guess you would call it, neurotypical. I was trying to work a high stress job and 40 hours a week, which may not seem like much to some people, but to me it's a lot. By the time that it kind of came to a head, I got to the point where I couldn't really decipher what was being asked of me. Words in the emails, I would just stare at them like they just didn't mean anything to me. Couldn't turn them into an action, and sometimes I would think I had got it right, but then I would end up doing the wrong thing or not doing enough, or yeah, my bosses were kind of confused because my performance slipped and I went from kind of, you know, perfectionist and high stress kind of person and I was quite efficient before as well, and then I became kind of constantly interrupted by like crying and panic attacks and things like that, or just shutting down. And the crying, I guess, wasn't surprising because I do cry a lot. I'm kind of a crybaby, but it took me a while to get used to that about myself, but I'm kind of accepted that now, and my bosses kind of did too, but it got like overboard. So currently I'm unemployed and I'm kind of afraid to inflict myself upon a workplace. They don't want to have to put up with me, and also I don't want to have to put up with the high stress or, you know, overload. It would cause me more, you know, mental health damage than I'm willing to put up with. But it's okay because it's given me time to complete a novel that I've been working on for about a year. And at first I was, you know, working real fast at that, but then that kind of petered out with all my other burnout. But I've managed to pretty much finish that. I'm gonna try and self-publish it soon. And I've also been drawing, which I find really great for calming my anxiety or getting myself out of a rut of executive dysfunction, which, you know, just kind of, instead of staring into space not knowing what to do, I will just like get super focused on drawing. It kind of hurts my hands though, so I have to remember to stretch. What else have I been doing? Well, cuddling puppy plushies, and also my girlfriend, who also cuddles puppy plushies, and making super basic food, and slowly crawling out of my cave and becoming more social. I went to a really fun onesie party. I went in my pajamas and it was really fun, and I felt like, you know, a social person after so long of kind of, you know, not being able to get out of the house much and just kind of being afraid to socialize or being too tired to socialize. So it was really nice that I could actually do that. So my view of the world is rather postmodern and materialistic. I feel like we're all just kind of floating around and bumping into each other. It's just chaos, and all the categories in our world, to me they're just semantics. They're arbitrary, and in reality everything's just kind of its own thing, and we just put things into categories on purpose. So in that vein, I believe it's up to me to create a purpose and meaning for my life, and part of the purpose I've chosen is just to be okay with myself and with the world around me, just get along, which I think is, you know, a good purpose for somebody who, you know, is depressed, anxious and autistic and having burnout. I just want to live in a way that doesn't cause myself and others undue distress. I also want to help others understand and accept their difference, because obviously going through that process has helped me. There are too many forces telling us that certain ways to be are better than others. I hope to be, no matter how small my voice is, that my voice can contradict that, and you know, maybe it'll reach a couple of people. So why baby robot? Well, I have a great love for what I like to call baby robots. Basically, cute robot characters. My favorite is Baymax. Last time I watched Big Hero 6, I cried because I so desperately wanted a Baymax, which is kind of ridiculous because I have this Baymax plushie, I have a Baymax nightlight, and I have a Baymax phone case. And yeah, I kind of full on Baymax. I also have a remote control BB-8. So cute. So calling myself baby robot is kind of a way to bring myself closer to the characters I like. So how does my autism affect me? My senses are hypersensitive, so sometimes I need tinted glasses like these ones, which I got from Accent Optics. You can get them from other places as well, but this was the place that I chose. And I also sometimes need earplugs to shut out the, well, dampen the barrage of noise that sometimes can happen around me. I at first was not happy because earplugs don't block out noise completely, but I think I had overly high expectations of them. And sometimes I just need to hide under the blankets and just be in my own world, shut out to the rest of the world. My inner world is very compelling to me. It's full of stories and characters that I love. They're like my children or my friends. And I've been known to use this world to avoid the real world, but now I see it more as a safe haven or form of entertainment rather than an avoidance tactic like I did when I was younger. Communication can be hard. Sometimes I go non-verbal, and sometimes I info dump, and sometimes I stumble over my words. I used to find it hard to initiate conversations or engage in small talk, but I have learned through my life to be able to do that and become much better at it. And I'll do a video with some tips on that because the things that I learned really helped me. I like routines and hate change. I'm hyper empathetic, sometimes debilitatingly so. If you cry on my shoulder, I might end up crying on yours. But cognitive empathy can be a bit tricky for me. I have trouble recognizing and responding to emotions that I see in others, like their expressions. I might not be able to interpret it correctly, and passive aggressiveness is not going to work on me. It just makes me confused, and I need people to be frank with me. And being confused also can make me melt down or shut down, especially if I'm receiving a lot of sensory input at the time. So it's better to, you know, just say it plainly. I do echolalia and stimming. At the moment, my echolalia that I've continuously been doing for, you know, the past couple of days is randomly the Final Fantasy victory music. I haven't played Final Fantasy in a long time, but somehow my brain just goes constantly, and I just have to do that while I'm lying in bed, reading, watching TV, making dinner. One of my favorite stims that I've always done is to suck my tongue, which I also do because my bottom jaw, I was born with a bigger bottom jaw than my top jaw, which braces helped push back, but still my tongue doesn't quite fit in my mouth as normal people's do. If I relax and am kind of in my natural state, it's like this. And so if I'm sleepy, you'll see me doing that, or I need comfort. It also just, you know, gives a really nice kind of tactile sensation. It's very comforting to me, and it's just comfortable. I also like to put my earlobe inside my ear. It's really nice and cold, especially when it's been, you know, out in the wind. It feels really nice. When I was little, I used to put my hair in my ear. I'd put it in a little loop and put it in my ear. Obviously I can't do that now because I have short hair. That's kind of one of the downsides of my haircut, but I can still do it with my earlobe. And my life has been a series of obsessions. That's what I always said to myself even before I knew I had autism. The first I can remember is my mummy. I was mummy obsessed, that's what we always said. I'd be clinging to her legs, or, you know, crying when I was left at school, although I did that with Dad as well, and he said, "Oh, it broke my heart to see you crying that much." But then apparently I was fine after, you know, going off with my friends. I think transitions are just an issue for me. So, yeah, but with Mum it was like over attachment for quite a while, but it's not like that anymore. Currently I don't have a special interest or obsession. It's kind of an odd feeling when it's like that, but sometimes in my life it's like that. Who knows, maybe making YouTube videos will become a special interest for me, and I can never tell what it's going to be. But I will say that not having a special interest does give me time and energy to focus on things that I want to do, like writing a story that isn't necessarily my special interest at the time. Sometimes my stories are. Whereas if I have a special interest about a show, I might watch that show a billion times and not do anything technically useful, and then make myself sick of the show. I try not to make myself sick of things like I used to. I kind of developed some sort of control. So yeah, thanks for watching, and please leave a like if you enjoyed this video to show me, and also subscribe if you want to see more about my life as a newly diagnosed autistic adult. Let me know if you want me to discuss any particular topics, but I've got a few lined up that you'll probably be interested in, I hope. Anyways, thank you and bye from Baymax.